2017, I start doing what I love to do, and I start trying to figure out why I'm here. Everybody in their early 20s is trying to figure out why they're here, why they exist. And man, I wanted to seriously figure out why the heck was I here on earth. And so I felt like God was calling me into ministry. I was going to start preaching and pastoring and leading a church and trying to reach so many people for Jesus. But then what kind of happened was I felt like God was kind of detouring me into doing something else. And so I was trying to figure out what I want to do, but I always made music. I was always making beats on my laptop growing up as a kid. And so I would just love to make remixes of my favorite artists, of Lecrae, Andy Mineo, all these guys. And I finally, in 2016, came out with my own personal thing, because I always did remixes growing up. And then in 2016, fresh out of college, I make my own little personal EP, kind of Christian. Well, I would even call it Christian per se, but it was kind of clean pop EDM, trying to be the better alternative from the Chainsmokers at the time. And so I was seriously loving making music, and I kind of, long story short, started linking up with one of my good friends at the time. His name's Brady, and we started making music together. And when we started making music together, we kind of needed like our own identity. Back in the day, if you know, the big mainstream artist at the time was Jack U. It was like Skrillex and Diplo. They were making music together. And so we kind of followed suit, and we needed like our own logo, our own brand. And I came across this like random, I forgot what it was even from really, but it was an Instagram ad, I think. I don't even remember. But it had this verse, John 10:10, and it had that verse, and it had the tens in Roman numerals, and it came X, and it looked kind of like that, and I was like, oh, but it was like off to the side. It wasn't like the main thing, and I'm like, oh, that's sick, because up until that point, I always really believed that Jesus was good, that Jesus' way was better, that his life, that what he offered was actually good for humanity. Because I kind of grew up in New York, a Christian, trying to follow Jesus, and I was always getting made fun of for just being super religious. But I'm like, no, I feel good. Like, my life is good. It's not, yeah, I'm not getting drunk like you. Yeah, I'm not smoking weed like you. Yeah, I'm not partying like you. But man, I have a good life. So I've always just embodied that message that Jesus actually offers good life. And so John 10:10 says this. It says, the thief came to steal, kill, and destroy. And the thief, in context, can mean a lot of different things. A lot of people say it's Satan. It's kind of actually, I think, more than that, and I'll get to why. It's actually better that it's just not Satan. But this is what Jesus says. He's given parables, and I don't want to get into it right now, but then he says, look, yeah, the thief, he's come to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come to give life and life abundantly. It's, to me, that's like, yo. And some translations say life to the full. So I'm like, yo, this is incredible. This is sick. And so I'm out here trying to figure out my why, my reason, my purpose. And it's like, yo, I want people to experience this life that I have. And so rallying behind that, starting a brand. And I just want to show you guys kind of, that's like one of the first photos of me doing this thing. XX. We had got like the neon sign. I don't even know where that sign is now. It was our first album cover. Let me see if I can pull that up. Trust me, guys, this is going somewhere. I actually can't. But trust me, the guys, this is going somewhere. And so yeah, this was like my why. This is like I finally felt like I was coming alive, and I wanted XX to be this huge movement, this whole huge thing of kind of like the Christian version of the Nelk Boys, I guess, if you know who they are. And I just wanted people to really see that Jesus was good, he was fun, and it was actually a good life that he offered. And so we started making music, and then we just kind of rocked with that. That's my friend Brady in the shadow silhouette over there. That's me pointing like a smoke machine gun. And we just, for a few years, started touring. This was our logo. This was our brand. This is our identity. And this is what we wanted to be, in a sense, known for. And so but I took this was like my why. I wanted people to experience it, and so that's me. I just kind of wanted to show you that because I look like a freaking moron. I mean, come on, I look stupid, but anyway. And then as I kind of transitioned out of making music full time, I kind of turned it into a clothing brand. But I'll just be honest, I wasn't like, I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't know I wanted to turn it into ministry, or I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. But I really felt like I believed that this sentiment was true. But I think what I had to offer at the time wasn't really that good. I'm just being honest. Like, I don't think what I had to offer was really that good. And so I feel like the last few years, and long story short, I'm going to get to the punchline. Long story short, I felt like what I thought Jesus had to offer people and the life that he had to offer people, honestly, it was subpar. It was kind of mediocre. And it wasn't actually the life that Jesus had to offer. And it took me 2-3 years at this point to really to strip away some of the false ideology, some of the false notions of what I thought Jesus' life was to the full, to actually then experience a deeper life with Jesus, that when he says, hey, I've come to give you life and life to the full, what that actually looks like. I feel like I've gotten a taste of that, if that makes sense. And in my personal life, I feel like the last 2-3 years, God's led me into a desert season. And I think to mold me, or to at least help, and I don't have it all figured out, but to at least see what the idols or what the things that I thought were good actually really weren't that good. And I finally now see the life that Jesus has to offer. And I full-heartedly believe with all my heart that the life that he has to offer is actually good. That it's not like, and I know you've probably heard that and probably said that, but it is so good, and probably a lot of, depending upon the church culture, depending upon the culture in general that you're in, you might not agree fully, but I feel like I've experienced, and there's a lot of lies out there, and there's a lot of people selling this stuff and selling you, but here's what I'm coming down to. It's to land the plane theologically for a second. Jesus says in John 14:6 that he's the way, the truth, and the life. And I think we could turn that little sentence, and it's not necessarily an equation per se, but if you actually take what he says there and put it as an equation of the way of Jesus plus the truth of Jesus equals the life of Jesus, then if you actually have those two first things, the way and the truth, and I'll be talking about this more for a while, the way of Jesus' life, Jesus' lifestyle, his routines, his habits, what he actually did, his daily activities, the things he participated in, his way of being human, plus the truth of Jesus. Not the lies, not the things that maybe culture says, not maybe even things that your pastor says. The actual truth of Jesus equals then the life of Jesus. And for me, I was kind of sold, kind of part of the truth. I had no idea with the way of Jesus at all, and kind of some mediocre versions of the truth. And to me, that equation never equaled something good. But I'm telling you today, the hope that Jesus brings for humanity is that his way and his life is actually good.